Hello, I'm back, YouTube. I've got a nice one. You're going to love this. It's very Christmassy. It's very sort of sentimental and happy season-ish, if you know what I mean. Happy holidays. Come on, then.
They have said...
Who's they?
I mean, the king must be so thrilled. Camilla, Queen Camilla must be...
Right.
Oh, she must be doing a jig with excitement.
Yeah.
Because Harry and Meghan have said that if they receive an invite, they would be prepared to come to Sandringham
Oh, my
for
God.
Christmas. Praise be. It's a Christmas miracle.
Right.
Oh, God.
That's right. So this is according to the Daily Mail. It says, this is a source close to the Sussexes, says...
She'll turn up like the ghost of bleeding Christmas past, that old thing, won't she? Oh, the things that have happened to me. Oh, dear.
I can't imagine...
Probably get pissed and start dancing, won't she? Yeah. And then she'll probably have a scrap with Barry, and that would be Christmas, won't it? Yes! Screaming match outside the palace.
Would decline an invitation to spend time with His Majesty.
Yes.
As of yet, there have not been any invitation for the holidays. They said it is understood.
You wrote that hooky book about them. Now they won't invite you for Christmas. Blimey, tut-tut. Oh, I shouldn't think Camilla would let you over the bleeding doorstep, but whatever, go on. They're dreaming, they're so in an illusion, aren't they? An illusion of their own making. I mean, they tell a lie, it becomes the truth, doesn't it? I had nothing whatsoever to do with the book. And I see old Omid Scobid, what's his name, Scooby-Doo. He's been on Twitter, whatever it's called, X. And he's categorically denied that the Sussexes had literally anything to do with the writing of that book. So, but we can see from what the little snippets that they've actually engineered into the public domain that a lot of it talks about what Harry felt or Harry thought and how it made him feel, blah-de-blee-blah. Which, yeah, is sort of subjective, isn't it, really, to the person. So how would he know that? And as I said before, I say it again, if what Scooby-Doo has said in that book is wrong, why don't they take him to bleeding court like they do everybody else that says stuff about them? Yes, yes. But anyway, back in the real world, they're now expecting to come over to Britain for bleeding Christmas. Oh, my God. Are you sure you're going to keep them? They've got to be corralled at Sandringham. We don't want them out in polite society. You know, we enjoy a Christmas and we deserve it, you know, much more than those two grifters. I mean, are we coming over there for the holidays? Holiday for what? It's one big bleeding holiday, your life. Yeah, it's all hooey because they'll probably end up in Barbados for Christmas. You know, I can't see her over here in cold, bleeding, muddy, bleak, drizzly, bleeding Sandringham. Unless, hang on, I've just had a thought. She'll want to be on the Christmas Day news, won't she? Walking up to church, you know, like they do every year. Yes, they make them parade for public delectation, the royal family, on Christmas Day, don't they? And you get all the Looney Tunes, one thing and another, I don't know who they are, all these people turn up. Start lining up for 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, Christmas morning. So they can see the royals walk by. I mean, really get a life. Jesus Christ almighty. Really? But obviously, the royals have to do it out of tradition. They probably hate doing it, but they have to do it. They're just used to it by now. But the Meghan line, well, it could be a starring role of the year, can't it? Especially if she can walk up there next to Charles. Yes! Wearing beige, or every colour of beige, every tone, in every way possible. Come on, what's going on? Oh no, we're back here still. Oh, don't leave me this way. There we go. Come on, kids.
Try and trash her legacy. However, they all get together for Christmas dinner and live happily ever
After, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Rudolph's got to be in there somewhere to make it officially a Christmas
movie.
So.
Rudolph, yes, he's famous for his nose, but then again, so is Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I love
well
the
done,
from
Christo.
the Daily Mail, though. It says, Harry and Meghan would accept offer to spend Christmas with the royal family at Sandringham, but are yet to receive an invitation from King Charles.
God almighty, literally. I would have used his toilet, but he didn't invite me to, so I couldn't, you know. Every little tiny thing that ever goes through their minds has to go in the paper and has to come out to us. But they're very private, and they don't like misinformation and disinformation. And most of what they release into the public via their bleeding, ooky old PR firm, which is basically her, they just pay a load of people to do it, but she does it herself. And it's mainly just a load of disinformation because none of this is true, just like everything else, none of it's true. Just like the phone call's not true, I said it wasn't true. Had a few people in the comments pulling me up on it saying, no, it's not true, look at Lady C. Don't need to look at Lady C. You know, I've got a brain in my head. It obviously isn't true. Because we all know that you can't just ring up the king. You couldn't just ring up the queen. And the king doesn't carry a bleeding mobile. So, and also he was busy. Almost every minute of his birthday was accounted for. I mean, that's even officially in the official courts, what they release in the paper. Court thingies, court circular. If you look, he was busy every minute of that day, and where he found time for take a non-existent phone call, which he then did a FaceTime and saw their kids singing him happy birthday. How did that go? How did that work out? Was it on a computer? Was it on a major screen? Was it in the cinema? I mean, none of it makes sense. It's just BS. Everything about it is BS. I knew it was BS. It smelt like BS. It walked like BS, so we knew it was BS. So, and anyway, it was from them, so it was BS. Come on then, what happened next, dear?
All of us could say that at this point.
Oh, yeah, that's so true.
Yeah,
Also,
it's more
hint,
BS.
hint. Hello? It's a bit desperate, isn't it? You know, I'd love to spend Christmas with you. Yet to get an invite.
Yeah.
A little bit desperate. As you know, though.
I feel sorry for the Royals because they've had a hell of a year, what with losing the Queen. They've all moved up a job or two. It's like they've all took on a new job, haven't they? New roles. Yeah, we say, it's the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh and the Princess Royal. She's now cosplaying the Duke of Wellington, and she's got all these other things that she does now. She's head of this and general of that, major this, isn't she? Chief in command of this regiment. She had a lot on her plate, plus all of her other charities. Plus she's got what's called her own life and marriage and grandchildren, one thing and another. And then you've got the Waleses, they've got kids, their kids have just started on new schools. He just took his entry into Eton or some other, is it Marlborough, Wellington, I don't know. Anyway, something's been going on with them because I don't stick this now too far into their life, if you get what I mean. They've also just took on the Duchy of Cornwall, which is a massive role, and become the Prince and Princess of Wales in the last year. Camilla's found herself a fag-smoking, gin-swilling, tramping around the countryside, hitting horses' butts, and generally living her best life, to now being Queen of Britain and the Overseas Dominion and the Commonwealth, which is a massive role for an old girl to take on. And then, of course, we got the King. Say no more with him. I mean, he never looks in the best of bleeding health. He looks thoroughly worn out. And they deserve a nice, peaceful bleeding Christmas, don't they? You know, like you do at that age. You get up, you open a few prezzies, probably have some carols or something. If you're a bit like that, you go to church, come home, stuff yourself full of turkey, fall asleep through the Queen's speech, then have some sausage rolls and sherry and go back to bed, isn't it? Really, that's the end of Christmas when you get that old. So, a couple of mince pies maybe, you know. Now they've got to blimmin' host those two bleeding. Oh my God, it's going to be an extravaganza, isn't it? It's going to be a bleeding catastrophe. Yes, it will.
I am very much in favour of...
They should play pin the tail on the donkey. Yes, because you've got a donkey coming for Christmas.
I'm very, very keen on the Markle spending time with the Royals.
Yeah, we all are. We all are, because it would be a shoot show. There'd be loads more content, wouldn't they? Because it would leak out. It would leak out. Someone would say something. I mean, I'm not suggesting the Royals would, but I'm sure their people would. Because I'm sure they'd probably go home and go, that bloody woman, honest to God, she drives me up the bloody wall. The shit she talks and we have to listen to it. Someone's going to hear, so it will come out into the public. Oh dear, why is Christmas all about Meghan? They'll be saying, won't they? Honestly, you think it was her birthday? You think she was Jesus Christ and we've all got to bleed and pray to her because she was born on Christmas Day or something? Or was she the Virgin Mary? Oh my God, all we wanted was a quiet Christmas, but no, we weren't allowed it. We had to host the bleeding drama llamas from Monty Shit Show. Come on.
Non-disclosure agreement.
A non-disclosure agreement.
Netflix, Hallmark, Spotify, whatever crew they've got with them for whatever grift they're doing.
Yeah, that would be it as well, yeah.
Stay outside.
Yeah, there'd be the hidden microphones, the cameras. What was the interview? I saw an interview. I'll try and find it and do something on it. Where she was saying about... I think it was the Oprah interview. Where she found out she wasn't allowed to take photographs. Blah-de-blah, to send them to her friends or something. And you just knew she was covering up for that time she was caught taking photographs in, like, the kids' bedrooms. Or something really weird in Kensington Palace. So she was like backfilling on it, you know. Oh, she takes some photographs from my friends and I got into loads of trouble. Yeah, just weirdo. Stop it.
I don't see why it could go wrong at all, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I knew you were coming with the non-disclosure agreement. I knew.
Can I just stop you there? But I've literally stood here thinking to myself, royal commentator and founder of Totti Fotti Daily. And I've just worked out it's not Totti Fotti Daily, it's To Die For Daily. Oh dear, I've got my specs on. Totti Fotti Daily. Oh, poor old girl. I'm half senile. You got to forgive me. It's this lot. They've driven me bleeding round the bend. They have. Come on, what's going on?
That was on the horizon.
It always is. I'm sorry, they should sign a non-disclosure agreement so that they are legally bound.
She'll sit there. She'll have her Ozempics, won't she? She'll eat one Brussels sprout. She'll spend the end of Christmas Day farting like a bleeding navvy, won't she? Stinking the whole place out. Honestly, they have the gas people round. They think they've got a gas leak, won't they? Oh dear, poor people. I feel sorry for them.
Well, Meghan wants us all to know that she hasn't, so...
Yes, because of course she gave an interview, many interviews in the final moments of the Queen's life, saying she's got more that she could tell, as has Harry. They're a really lovely couple, aren't they?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so...
Did that happen?
You know, I think this next story kind of goes hand in hand with it. Now
Right.
Harry and Meghan distance themselves from Omid Scobie's...
Well, of course they do.
Sources
Oh, I didn't know
close to the
this.
Sussexes
The first time I
deny
watched
that
this.
they were involved in the biography after extract appears in People magazine here in
Right.
the States.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all having a nice intimate little chat together. Me, you, Christo, and dear little Kinsey. Come on.
They say that they have nothing to do with this particular book.
Oh, a
And
load
it's
of old hooey,
important
Kinsey.
That whoever, you know, their third party contact
BS.
let the Daily Mail know that, right?
In other words,
This is
Meghan.
Omid Scobie, who wrote Finding Freedom. This
Funding
is
Freebies.
a new book, which is about the next chapter
Yeah.
in the Sussexes.
Caroline
life.
Durant,
And
yeah.
it was called, what's it called? The name escapes me. It's
called Endgame, but it's not necessarily
Blame
about
game.
the next chapter in Harry and Meghan's life. What we know that it's about
No,
is
hang on,
how
I'll stop you
things-
there. It's like I said before, the scary thing is having, I'm on the third episode. It's tiresome, the third episode on Nitpicks of, what's it called? Meghan and Harry documentary, Harry and Meghan, no one gives a shit, something like that. And it's like I said to you before, the most disconcerting part of the first episode was when Harry turned to the camera and said, but the good news is, our story has only just begun. And I thought, oh, for flip's sake, really? Oh, we're going to get this forever and ever ad infinitum. We are. None of our lives are ever going to be the same again.
Charles is wildly unpopular, according to Omid Scobie, and how Prince William is,
Charles is marginally and increasingly, well, vastly more unpopular than bleeding Scooby-Doo, let's put it that way.
I believe the way he describes him is power hungry behind the scenes.
What do you mean
almost,
power hungry?
a
He's been to
tyrant,
Wales, you
if you
dork.
will. But the Mail Online understands that Meghan and Harry categorically deny any suggestion that they are affiliated with the book or that Mr. Scobie, who has been friendly with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and co-wrote their biography,
Yes.
Finding Freedom, is part of the Sussex camp. I mean, it's...
Right. Okay, so I'll stop you there because they categorically denied in a court of law, didn't they? Or she did. Categorically denied that she had anything to do with Funding Freebies or Finding Freedom, whatever it was, bullshit book by Omid Scobie's. And then Jason Knorth, produced all the emails. He had the goods, you see, which we've all seen. We've all read them. I mean, I've read them. I'm sure you've read them. They're up on YouTube. So, not really feeling that. It's a load of old nonsense. And anyway, as I keep saying, if that was true, why don't they issue him with a cease and desist? And anyway, besides that, I know how these things work and it wouldn't have got through the publishers. Unless he could back up with sources the claims that he's made in that book, the publishers would have balked at having to publish a book that could get them into trouble. Do you get me, capiche? So, yeah, they're just playing tic-tac-toe, aren't they, really? Taking us all for mugs, and gaslighting the whole world and disseminating misinformation and disinformation, yes, upon society. I'll have it known. Yes, it is.
It's really hard.
In other words, lying.
To digest that information, aside from what we know about how they forgot that they contributed to Finding Freedom.
Bullshit.
Omid
Didn't forget.
is one of the first people to this day that has new information about Harry and Meghan. For instance, he was one of the first people to report about their private San Diego, basically faux royal engagement 2 weeks ago. So Omid still clearly
Just bullshit.
has some sort of contact with.
Yeah, he is, him and Boozy. And wasn't it in, I haven't ever picked up the book, the Ware book, Spare, whatever. But doesn't he in the prologue thank the Sussex squad for all their consistent support and something or other, yeah? Just rubbish. They're all just horrible people, just really vile. And I'm not being funny, I mean, I can say it because it's my opinion, I'm allowed my opinion. But I think if the Royals let those two grifters over here, yes, and who will be paying for their bleeding security? Because it'll be us lot as usual, won't it? Security! Maybe they should take them up to Broadmoor and say they're having a nice family party up there. Then get them in there and shut the bleeding door fast and lock it. Oh dear, why do we have to have them back over here? She just wants to come over here so she's seen with all the right people. She's been to Variety. She's hung out with that Margot Robbie or whatever her name is. Billie Eilish. What's the other one? The Kardashians and people like that. She just wants to get herself about the place. Yeah? And get seen with all the right people, you see. Like Tyler Perry and Opera, and actually a lot of them. And not returning her calls, I don't think. Yes.
If he's not in the Sussex camp, he is clearly familiar with it.
And I mean, this is the crux of the point: is that the previous book, they categorically, this is Harry and Meghan, denied
it. They denied it in the court of law.
They sent out the same denials.
Yeah.
Harry and Meghan, that Finding Freedom was nothing.
But if you remember, we all know the washing up liquid was a load of hooey. We know that's hooey, and she still repeats the story as truth. We know that United Nations Woman of Summit or Other speech was a load of old hooey, and she did nothing like that. You know, it's just a load of blah blah word salad. We know that when she went down to Argentina and she wasn't working for the embassy and this, that, and the other, she was an intern for a couple of weeks, made a pass at some of the people in a quest to bleed better herself like she does, like is her ilk, and got moved aside. Well, she got sacked, didn't she, really? She got told to buzz off. All the stories she tells always end up that they're not as they seem. They're the gospel according to Megalite, and in no way the truth.
To do with them until court papers exposed that they had...
No, we saw the emails telling them what to put in the book.
Party
Yeah.
To the content of that book.
No, it was signed from Meghan and from Harry.
Out that they forgot. I mean, again, and I've said this many times before, but I find it hard to believe that you forget contributing to...
Well, they got off the court case on it, didn't they?
Book. But people...
She got told she misremembered when anyone else would just been told that they're in contempt of court for lying, but there you go.
Which, of course, you and I never are when it comes to Harry and Meghan. We're very, very positive.
Yes.
But cynical people might say, well, look,
Positively sickened by them.
Contributing to his previous book and were found to have forgotten having done so, then why should we believe that they or someone in their camp hasn't contributed to this one?
Well, they have.
I mean,
they've written it.
It's just silly to even deny it at this
just
point.
BS. I can't be dealing
it's
with
silly,
it.
But
I can't be dealing with it. It's ridiculous.
There are several
I can't even make a joke.
in the
It's
industry
sick.
that say that this book, piggybacking off the release or off the King's 75th birthday and the release.
Yes, because there is that to it, isn't there, Kin? Sorry to stop you, darling. But there is that to it. Have you noticed that since the coronation, whatever it's called, constipation, yeah? And he is now the king, everyone's gone up a rung. There has been a sort of steady drip, drip, drip back from Montecito, hasn't there? Yeah, it's like they're doing a totalitarian tiptoe, aren't they? Back towards Charles. Daddy, I love you, Willie. And so does my delightful wife. Please let us back. We want a ponce off you. Yes, we do. We want to bask in your reflected glory of being able to say, don't you know who I am? I am the daughter-in-law of the King of Great Britain. I'll have you know. Yes, herewith too, and thereunto. Go on. Oh, we're doing that now. We're doing that.
They're describing it as deplorable. I say it's kind of genius. In the marketing sense, this was probably the best way to go.
No, it's disgusting. It's disgraceful.
Right as the crown's coming out, but some in royal.
Oh yeah, because of course, there is that to it as well, isn't there? Because of course the frown's dropped on Netflix. I mean, I don't watch it. I don't go near it. I can't be dealing with it. I just cannot listen to that. A load of old hooey. Yeah, so I'll tell you what I have been watching. I've been watching The Keepers, if you want to go on Netflix. That's a really, really, my God, the machinations that are going on in the world. You wouldn't believe it, VTubers. So these two are quite pussy. I mean, some of the things that go on in the world that are so multi-layered and convoluted, and yet they can still be picked apart, do you get me? Bit by bit, by pretty tenacious people. And so you can look at the whole picture rather than just having like a glimpse and not understanding what you're looking at. So once your mind gets used to that type of thing, you can easily see through the Harry and Meghan marketing PR crap. And I'm working vociferously, insidiously, or whatever the word is, on presenting a Maddie McCann, which I've took apart over like 13 years. Obviously not every day of 13 years, but on and off over 13 years, I'm pretty up to the speed on Maddie McCann, and I've been round about and inside out and back to front, and I've been everywhere with that bleeding case, and it, again, isn't as it seems. So I've been working on something to present to you in some sort of good-humoured way. Not that there's anything good-humoured about the case, but there's many clowns. Yes, walk-on parts and acting roles, you know. So, yeah. And I think this is what it is with Harry and Meghan. They're just a big bleeding psyop. That's what they are. They're gaslighting the whole damn world. Yes? And we're just fodder. And it's like all these people, if you look at most of these grifters and these people that are involved in either psyop or whatever, something, it isn't as it seems. First thing they do is set up a mechanism by which they can facilitate members of the public to donate to them. And basically, that is one of the red flags of all of these sort of multi-layered psyops, which is what she is. She's a piece of work. Yes, whether she's put up by the Global, I don't know. I don't know who she's put up by, but whatever's going on, it's a load of old BS. Yes, it is, it is, it is. And of course, Harry is just a willing dope, isn't he? Or dupe.
Well, you know, we will see what is in there, and I think that the content of that book will make it very clear, especially to those people who are on the inside, who are members of the royal family and their associates.
Oh, I can't be dealing with it.
The content of the book will make it very clear as to whether Harry and Meghan have contributed or whether they have
just BS.
Contributed vicariously to the book. And however much they deny it, people are going to speculate.
Well, no, because she's very clever. It's like that with that nonsense with her sister. When she said she never knew her sister and it was subjective to herself when she said she was an only child. It's just BS, it's just words. Okay, so it doesn't matter what people throw at them. They've always got an answer for it, haven't they? Yes, they talk in metaphors and anecdotes, don't they? So it's a load of old rubbish.
That they are directly involved based on them being involved in the last one. So
I'll tell you the thing, yeah, I'll give you a good example. There. I'll stop you there. Stop.
So they have dropped out.
Right, stop. We don't want to know anymore. Right. Just as a small little anecdote out of the series, this stupid documentary series on Netflix, they were saying about how she didn't know her mum. She didn't know her sister. BS. She was brought up by her mum. And she didn't know her sister at all. But she knew her niece. So, I mean, straight away, I mean, if you look at that and you think, well, you didn't know your sister at all, like vaguely, you never see her, but you knew her daughter. How is that even a thing? It just doesn't ring true. It doesn't pass the sniff test. And the other thing, oh, well, I had to ring her with Harry and let her know that she couldn't come to the wedding because of her mother, in other words, Meghan's sister Sam. So she managed to rope everybody and corral everybody into her bullshit excuse. But then Harry tells the anecdote, because the liars, they're just idiots, right? He tells the anecdote that he and her, obviously more her, felt that she wasn't being allowed to invite the people she wanted to the wedding. So he went to see the Queen, and the Queen said to him, right, tear up the invitation list and you invite who you want. Now, that's out in the public domain. Yet, on the Netflix documentary, oh, she wasn't allowed to invite her niece. No, because people would have asked. People would have said, how come you've got your niece there when apparently you don't know your sister? So, you see, it's all just BS. The reason her niece wasn't there is because her niece is a lot younger and hotter than her, and she would have been If she'd have invited her whole family, no one would have noticed her niece. But where she only had her mum and maybe her niece going, a big comparison would have been made between a much more youthful niece who doesn't lie about her age and really has got certificates and qualifications and has got a career. And they would have been drawing comparisons between the niece and the narcissistic bleeding, Duchess of Narcissism herself, innit? Duchess of Muchness. And that, if you think of it, ladies, is exactly why she cooked up this whole BS story that the palace said, couldn't possibly have you there. I mean, I want you there, but you can't possibly come because the public would ask why your mother wasn't invited. We don't want that. It's just BS. And as I say, it doesn't marry up with the same story that Harry tells, that the Queen said to tear up the list and invite who they wanted. So with that, I rest my case. Bye-bye now.